Throughout history, the notion of monks often conjures images of peaceful ascetic men devoted to prayer and spiritual enlightenment. However, there have been instances where monks not only wielded the sword, but also governed entire nations. One of the most fascinating examples of this paradox is the Teutonic Order, a militant monastic order that rose to prominence during the medieval era and ruled over Prussia for nearly 2 centuries. These warrior monks combined religious devotion with military expertise, forging an empire that left a lasting mark on European history. The Teutonic Order, formerly known as the Order of Brothers of the German House of St. Mary in Jerusalem, was founded in the late 12th century during the Third Crusade. Initially established as a hospital order to aid German pilgrims in the Holy Land, the order soon took on a military role, following the model of the Knights Templar and the Knights Hospitaller. By the early 13th century, the Teutonic Order had become one of the most formidable military religious organizations in Europe. Unlike their counterparts, who primarily focused on the Holy Land, the Teutonic Knights shifted their attention to northeastern Europe, particularly the Baltic region. At the invitation of Polish rulers, they launched a crusade against the pagan Prussians, a group of fiercely independent tribes resisting Christianization. With the backing of the papacy and the Holy Roman Empire, the Teutonic Order embarked on a brutal conquest that would lead to the establishment of a theocratic state governed entirely by warrior monks. The Teutonic Order's campaign in Prussia, which began in the early 13th century, was characterized by relentless military efficiency and religious zeal. The knights built a vast network of castles and fortified cities, systematically subjugating the Prussian tribes through a combination of warfare, forced conversions, and strategic alliances. By the mid-13th century, the order had effectively conquered the region, establishing a monastic state that operated independently from any secular ruler. Unlike feudal kingdoms ruled by hereditary monarchs, the Teutonic Order's state was governed by a Grand Master who functioned as both a military commander and a religious leader. The Grand Master, elected by the Order's senior members, wielded absolute authority over the territory, making the state a unique fusion of militant theocracy and monastic discipline. The knights themselves followed a strict religious code, taking vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, yet their lives were largely spent on the battlefield rather than in cloisters. To solidify their rule, the Teutonic Knights encouraged German settlers to colonize Prussia, bringing with them new agricultural techniques, trade networks, and urban development. Cities like Königsberg, modern-day Kaliningrad, flourished under their administration, becoming centers of commerce and religious influence. The order's governance was highly structured, with a hierarchy that blended military ranks with ecclesiastical titles. This efficient system allowed the Teutonic state to prosper and expand, reaching its peak in the 14th century. The Teutonic Order was renowned for its formidable military capabilities. Unlike conventional armies, which relied on feudal levies, the knights maintained a standing force of disciplined warriors supported by auxiliary troops, mercenaries, and allied forces. Their hallmark was the heavy cavalry charge, executed with precision and devastating effect. The order's castles, strategically positioned throughout Prussia and Livonia, served as both military strongholds and administrative centers, enabling rapid mobilization of forces. During their height, the Teutonic Knights extended their influence beyond Prussia, launching campaigns into Lithuania, Poland, and even Russia. Their primary adversaries were the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, a powerful pagan state that resisted Christianization, and the Kingdom of Poland, which sought to curb Teutonic expansion. The Baltic Crusades, as these conflicts were known, were among the longest-running religious wars in European history, with the Teutonic Order at the forefront of Christendom's eastern frontier. One of the order's most famous engagements was the Battle of Lake Peipus in 1242, where they faced the legendary Russian prince Alexander Nevsky. In this battle, often romanticized in Russian history, the Teutonic Knights suffered a significant defeat on the frozen lake, marking one of their few setbacks in an otherwise dominant military record. Despite this loss, they continued their campaigns with relentless determination, eventually converting Lithuania to Christianity in the late 14th century. The governance of the Teutonic state was a unique blend of monastic discipline and military strategy. The Grand Master was supported by a council of high-ranking knights, each overseeing specific regions and functions. Unlike traditional monarchies where power was often hereditary, the order's leadership was based on election, ensuring that only the most capable and experienced warriors ascended to the highest ranks. The state's economy was heavily based on agriculture, trade, and tribute from conquered lands. The knights controlled vast estates managed by serfs and administered by monastic officials. Their cities became hubs of commerce, attracting merchants from across Europe. The order also established a robust legal system, enforcing strict moral codes while maintaining stability in its territories. Religious life was deeply intertwined with governance. The knights saw themselves as defenders of Christianity, and their rule was marked by the construction of grand cathedrals, monasteries, and schools. Education and literacy were promoted among the clergy and the knightly elite, ensuring that governance remained both spiritually and intellectually strong. Despite its early successes, the Teutonic state faced growing challenges by the late 14th and early 15th centuries. The rise of powerful neighboring states, particularly Poland and Lithuania, posed a direct threat to their dominance. The union of these two nations in 1386, through the marriage of Polish Queen Jadwiga and Lithuanian Grand Duke Jogaila, created a formidable alliance that sought to curb Teutonic expansion. The order's most decisive defeat came in 1410 at the Battle of Grunwald, Tannenberg, where a combined Polish-Lithuanian force inflicted a crushing blow on the Teutonic Knights. This battle marked the beginning of the order's decline, as they were forced into a series of territorial concessions and financial crises. Although they retained control over parts of Prussia, their influence waned, and internal conflicts weakened their once unified structure. By the early 16th century, the Teutonic state had lost much of its former power. In 1525, the last Grand Master of the monastic order, Albert of Brandenburg, secularized the Teutonic state, converting it into the Duchy of Prussia under Polish suzerainty. This marked the end of the order's political rule, though it continued to exist as a religious and chivalric organization. Despite their eventual decline, the legacy of the Teutonic Knights endures. Their influence on Prussian and German history was profound, laying the foundations for the later rise of the Kingdom of Prussia, which would go on to shape European geopolitics in the modern era. The castles and cities they built remain cultural landmarks, and their military traditions influenced later European knightly orders. The Teutonic Order itself, though no longer a military force, continues to exist as a Catholic religious order dedicated to charitable and humanitarian work. Their history serves as a testament to the complex intersection of faith, warfare, and governance, illustrating how a group of warrior monks once ruled an entire nation with both steel and scripture. The story of the Teutonic Order stands as one of the most extraordinary chapters in medieval history. Their rise from a humble hospital order to rulers of a vast monastic state demonstrates the immense power that could be wielded by religious institutions in the medieval world. While their militaristic approach to spreading Christianity was often ruthless, their contributions to state building, urbanization, and governance left a lasting imprint on European history. The warrior monks of the Teutonic Order defied the conventional image of monastic life, proving that devotion and discipline could manifest not only in prayer, but also in battle. Their unique blend of military prowess and religious fervor made them one of the most formidable forces of their time, and their legacy continues to intrigue historians and scholars to this day.